Greetings, greetings. I appreciate it. I had some things I had to do real quick. So, as you can see, the title of the show is going to be very interesting because there's a lot going on. You wouldn't believe it if I told you. you just, I am so serious. And I got a couple of more shows coming up with you. Um, One show in particular that I really believe that you're going to get a kick out of. It is called gosh, it's just lost my thought. I got a show coming up and it's dealing with Harem Biff, the lie. Harem Biff, the lie. And I give you more about that show. It's going to be very interesting. I would tell you this. What if I told you that King Solomon never had the password? I'm just saying. So tonight we're going to get into this show. This title of this show is My Life You Can Have. My Life You Can Have. And you're probably asking, why such a show, Brother Hawkins? What made you want to come up with this type of show, this show? Because in the process of becoming a master mason, somewhere I read that integrity was something that every Mason should have. And I remember somewhere saying that my life, you can have, my integrity, never. So the title of tonight's show is My Life You Can Have. So we're going to get into it tonight and we're going to talk about some things that Masons are supposed to take a real hard stand on and really take a real hard look at some of the things and the attitudes of Masons and some things and how we're supposed to be carrying ourselves, because I believe, from what I'm gathering, from what I'm seeing, we are truly missing integrity. We are truly missing the very thing that points us out to be a Mason. As one brother, Christopher Jackson, said, if you was amongst brothers, or if you was in a courtroom, would you be found guilty of being a Mason? So tonight we're going to have this conversation. My life you can have. But as Harriman Biff said, my integrity, never. So what happens to a Mason when he loses his integrity? What happens to a Mason who doesn't indulge himself in truth, fortitude, temperance? What happens to a Mason when he no longer understands prudence and what it teaches? What happens to him? Because it is said somewhere along the line that I would not be at the making of a madman, an irreligious person, or a fool, or an old man in his dotage. Somewhere along the line, Masons have lost their integrity. They have twisted something somewhere along the line. We as Masons have not done our job as we have brought in new individuals into this organization. We have failed to teach them about justice, fortitude, truth. We have failed somewhere along the line to leave those things out. So the integrity of the person that we are bringing in has been lost. It has been lost. So tonight we're going to talk about and have that conversation tonight about integrity, what it is to have it. Because like I said, somewhere along the line I heard that, and I've read that I would not make a Mason one who's irreligious, one who's an atheist, a fool, an old man in his dotage. I said those things. So now I got to go back and look at the integrity of those that we brought in. Those who said and professed that I believe in a supreme being. But yet when you bring them in to your lodge, they learn nothing about truth, justice, fortitude, and Putins, they learn nothing about that. Putins, they learn nothing about those things. They somewhere along the line, those things have been left out of their teachings and of their lessons. Somewhere along the line, we must understand truth is the divine attribute of the foundation of every virtue. To be good and to be true is the first lesson taught in Freemasonry. To be good and to be true is the first lesson that is taught in Freemason. But somewhere along the line, that has been left out. Somewhere along the line, we have allowed brothers to come into this craft and tear it up. Somewhere along the line, you who have done the interview did not do justice to your lodge because your lodge is losing membership like a water fountain that has a drip. Somewhere along the line, we didn't do a good job. So now here we find ourselves, this brother who said and professed that he believed in a supreme being. You did the interview and you found that this brother would make a good access to your lodge. You found that that sister would be a great sister to your chapter, but somewhere along the line, truth was not taught to them. They did not understand the divine attributes of the foundation of every virtue. They did not understand that that was the first lesson in Freemason was to be good and to be true. Somewhere that wasn't taught in your lodge. So now you have brothers and sisters, not only in your chapter, but in your lodge they don't even care. They will watch the wishful master fail. They will watch the senior warden fall. They will look at the junior warden like he's lost his mind. They don't respect the chaplain in your lodge anymore. Just as it is in the Eastern Star. Some sister would set traps. Yeah, I said it. They would set traps for the worthy matron so she doesn't be successful. They would set traps for the associate matron, the conductress and associate conductress. They will want to see them fail instead of reaching out and giving them a helping hand so the whole chapter can be successful. This is why in most lodges, most chapters, there's only a few core people who sees the duties of that chapter, of that lodge, to make sure that this is functioning, to make sure all of the bills that is due are paid. It's only a few. You may have 100 members in your lodge, in your chapter. Some of you may have 50, 25, or 15, but there's only 10 in that lodge if you got 100 that sees the duties of that lodge and sees that it's functioning and stay alive and vibrant. You may have 100 sisters, but there's only 10 in that chapter to see that that chapter stay live and vibrant. Somewhere along the line, truth wasn't taught. Fortitude is the noble and steady purpose of the mind whereby we are enabled to undergo any pain and peril or dangers when potentially deemed and expected. The virtues of equality, distance, and radishes, the cowardness, and like the former should be deeply impressed upon the mind of every Mason. Somewhere along the line, fortitude wasn't taught. Somebody forgot to tell the inter-apprentice, that master Mason, to go look up fortitude. So when you move through the inter-apprentice and you walk up the winding stairs to the fellowcraft and you knock upon the doors of the master Mason, somewhere you forgot about justice and fortitude. I don't know what you was thinking about. I don't know how you thought that maybe because you understood the working tools of an inter-apprentice, that gave you privilege enough to walk up those winding stairs and knock on that door. But your knocks were not unanswered. Your knocks was, you knocked and then you wonder why the door wasn't open. Because you forgot about fortitude. You forgot about truth. So along with fortitude and truth, somewhere along the line, you should have been told about justice. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of you brothers and sisters, and you may be wondering, why are you including the sisters when you're talking about an EA degree as far as justice, as far as fortitude, as far as truth is taught, and as far as prudence is taught? Why are you adding them? Because those are the attributes of the 5 herons. But you don't hear me though. Because somewhere along the line, somebody forgot to tell you that within that point, within those 5 points of that star, is the compass and square. It's hidden. Somebody forgot to tell you that. So I must include the sisters when I'm talking about fortitude, justice, and prudence. When I'm talking about those 3 attributes right there, they apply to the sisters just as well. So when you talk about justice, justice is the standards or boundaries of right, which enables us to render every man his just due without distinction. The virtues is not only consistent with divine and human law, but it is the very cement and support of civil society. And as justice is the great measure and constitute of a real good man. Is that man you bringing into your chapter willing to distribute justice? Is that sister that you're bringing in your chapter, does she understand what justice means? Or does she look at justice as revenge? Does that brother look at justice as revenge? See, some things we just forgot. See, because now you 33rd, now you 32nd, now you a Knights Templar, you a Royal Archmason, you've gotten them wings, you've gotten all of this other degree work, but you forgot about justice and what it is. You forgot about that first degree, your foundation, the one that every apprentice, when he entered, it tells you that you're the youngest brother in here. The foundation that is very large stands on you. Somewhere along the line, that wasn't taught. It was forgotten. Because now you think that now that you've risen, now that you are a Grand Lodge officer, be it male or female, now you no longer need to talk to that apprentice because he's below you. You think that you can talk to him anytime, any type of way? Oh, now because he knows a little bit more than you know, you think you should blackball him for moving up. But see, he learned something along the way. The reason you feel that apprentice who's about to now ascend into the fellowcraft degree, you want to block him from going up, the reason you want to do that is because you forgot what it is to be an apprentice. You forgot the zeal that you had. You forgot the light that was in your eyes. You forgot the illumination that was in you. And now that he's there, he wants to move up. See, you done forgot all about that. Oh, that's the wife calling. Yeah, babe. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm doing. Well, anyway, what's up? Who? Yeah, if you got it on, it's covering your face. No, it doesn't have to be closed. It have to be covering your face. Well, if it's covering the nose, I mean, it doesn't have to completely cover the nose. For you, your mask have to cover your nose, yes. But I'm saying for a person that has a motorcycle helmet and he walks in the store, it covers his mouth, but you can see his nose. If it's covering the nostrils of his nose, then he's good. Well, then you may have an issue. Well, okay, so you may have an issue. Yeah. Yeah. So, babe, yeah, you may have an issue. It is. It is. Absolutely right. I am. All right, see you when you get home. Okay, bye-bye. So that was my wife, she's like, you must be busy. I was like, yeah, let me finish this up. Hey, man, whatever you do, if you're married, take care of the wife. A happy home, whoo, I'm just saying. But anyway, let's get back to this show tonight. We're talking about my life you can have, my integrity, never. And I say that because, as I was saying before, when I was speaking on justice, fortitude, when I was speaking in regards to truth, when I was speaking in regards to prudence and what it teaches, somewhere along the line, those who were ascended up into Freemasonry, both on the York right side or the Scottish right side, now that you are noble, you forgot about those things. And now you want to block a into apprentice who's excited about being a fellow craft, who's excited about being a master mason. You want to block them from moving up because they know a little bit more than you know. Because see, they was taught that you should occupy your mind with useful knowledge. And they started to do that. They started questioning everything. They was illuminated. They was excited. But you wanted to blow their light out. You didn't want them to know more than you knew, sisters. Well, what's wrong with that sister who wants to practice the works of the Order of the Eastern Star as it should be practiced? What's wrong with that, brother? You got a brother who has that zeal to be the best Mason he can be, but yet you want to put your foot on his neck. You don't want him to rise up and to be better than you because you think you was all that in a bag of potato chips, but you're not. Now you want to try him, and then you try him, and he just stomp you. He just rolls right on through you because, see, while you was out doing your thing, he was occupying his mind. He was getting himself together because he wanted to be the example. You know, that is, to me, when you have an enter apprentice or a fellow craft who wants to, and who's seeking that light, who's seeking those rights and privileges, who's seeking to be the best Mason he can be. Brothers, help him. Sisters, when you have an Eastern Star who wants to illuminate those points of the star, who wants to exemplify those colors that they represent, help that sister who wants to understand how do you raise her chakras up? How do you illuminate the mind? Don't hold them down. Lift them up. Be the example of what it is to be a Mason and Eastern Star. Because let me tell you, so when you get into understanding this, when you get into saying, okay, so let's look at prudence and what it teaches. It teaches us to regulate our lives and action agreeable to the dedicate of our reason, and that it is habits by which we wisely judge in the persistence of totality and determining to all things relative to our presence as our fortitude of happiness. You know, we somewhere along the line, we got to take those things we say we love in Freemasonry and really begin to apply them and break them down in such a way to we'll be able to look at it from a whole nother perspective. Let's not just be able to spill it out, you know. Let's not just be able to do the questions and answers, but let's be able to enjoy and break down what it is to be a Mason or an Eastern Star. Some of us have forgotten about those very things that we've learned along the way to help us to be the best we can be. I can't say it enough. Last night we was on our Zoom meeting, and the brothers was really engaged in what was happening. And what you want to do in order to keep a brother or a sister motivated in the organization itself, you have to engage them. You have to give them something that's going to make them go, Don't cut them down, lift them up. This is what we should be doing to that enter apprentice, to that fellow craft. So when the time comes for them to progress in Freemasonry, they'll have a mentor around them that they can go to. You know, peace to everybody who's coming on tonight. We're talking about my life you can have. And the reason we're talking about that, because when you're telling someone that means your integrity they can't take. Too many of us have a price that we would give in regards. I give you $1 million. You just, I do it. You think nothing of it. You think nothing of your integrity because you'll sell out so quick. You know, because we monetize everything. Everything has a price. Do your integrity have a price? Does it? Do your integrity have a price? What are you willing to give away in regards to your integrity? What is it? Because I know somewhere in the fellowcraft degree, after I've done my study, it seems to me that the world opens up because it deals with the sciences. It deals with liberal arts. It deals with the seven wonders of the world. It deals with worldly things as far as travel is concerned. It deals with the heavenly canopy. It deals with meeting on a high hill or a low valley. You think I'm not telling you the truth? Go back and read it for yourself. That fellowcraft degree, you never really leave. And I would tell you this. Because at one time there was only 2 degrees, which was the Inter-Apprentice and Fellowcraft. Only then, after you had mastered those 2 degrees, you were considered a Master Mason. After you had found to have suitable proficiencies in those degrees, you was considered to be a Master Mason. There was no Master Mason degree other than that of a Royal Archmason. But as time progressed, it changed. What they did is that they clamped on this thing they call a Master Mason degree and put the last degree work, which was the Royal Art degree, into the York Rite. That's another day for another topic, and I can tell you why. But that's what they did. So now in America, most degree work is done on what we call the Scottish Rite and York Rite side. Most. But Masonry, I'm finding in the structure of Freemasonry, it's not all the same wherever you go. Some jurisdictions don't practice York Rite. They only practice Scottish Rite, which lead me to tell you this. The Supreme Council of Louisiana is the oldest Supreme Council, period. They're older than the Supreme Council in North Carolina, South Carolina. And, they're older than what they call the Mother Supreme Council. But what happens is we have transformed that because the Mother Supreme Council called itself that. Everybody else going to follow suit. But they wasn't the first. The Supreme Council of Louisiana was the first. So what we get as we grow into Masonry, we must understand and begin to go back to that first degree and look at fortitude, justice, truth, and what it is to be a Mason, and understand what you said in that obligation. When you walked up the winding stairs and you knocked on that door, and that door was open, and then as you walked into that door, you realized you was in a very spacious area. Things open up to you. As you move out of the Fellowcraft degree and you go into what we call the Master Mason degree, the Holies of Hollies. See, that's why that degree we call a Master Mason was a set-up degree. Hello? So I wish people would stop playing on the phone. If you got something you want to call in and say, please call in and say it. But anyway, I didn't put the phone number in tonight. But for those of you who have it, thank you. And for those of you who don't, that number tonight is 619-286-0642. If you want to call in, I'm going to put this number up real quick so you'll have it. You can call in tonight if you want to. That number is going to be 619-286-0642. You can call this number if you want to tonight. If you have any questions and you want to participate in tonight's activity, we can talking about my life you can have. But what about your integrity? Can people have your integrity too? Can they take that and squeeze it and just throw it out the window? Because I believe somewhere along the line, as I keep saying, we have forgotten about the integrity of what it is to be a Mason and an Eastern Star. Those things have been totally just cast aside, but we must, those of us who are true to the organization, those of us who are true to the craft, our chapters and lodges, must never forget that you must have that integrity. I'm not never saying that you may slip or fall. Never said that. But if you fall forward. If you slip, slip forward. Get up and keep moving. Hey, babe, how you doing? I'm all right. Everybody says hello. You know, so these are just some of the things we're going to have to take a look at as we progress, as we move forward, and stop allowing ourselves to get tied up in small things and look for the bigger things, the big picture. What is this trying to tell me as an intro apprentice? What is this trying to tell me as a fellow craft? What's up? Oops. I'm good. You all right? So this is where we're at. So, hey, I just want to send some shout outs. Let me see who I got in here tonight. His Excellency. I likes that. That's cool right there. How's everybody doing? What's up, Gene? How you doing? First year in the OES, you have been my teacher so far. Wow. Hey, glad to have you aboard. If you got any questions you want to ask on the OES, please put it in there, or you can call. You know, peace and greetings to everyone who's coming on. I appreciate you. What's going on, Solomon? Appreciate you. Everybody who's tuning in tonight, I just want to say big shout out to you. First of all, I hope wherever you at, that you're blessed, that you're well, that you're happy, that your family is in good health. Right now, we're living in a very, very dangerous period as far as with this COVID-19 running rapid. Please take care of yourselves and take care of your immediate family, your fathers, sisters, and mothers, and brothers of the craft, sisters of the order, your churchmen, wherever you at. Please look out for the next person. Please wear a mask. Even if you don't want to wear a mask around your family, make sure that you take care of them. Wash your hands. Don't put your hands in your face. Use gel. I'm just saying those things. My wife said, if you don't care about nobody else, care about the next person. All right then, Sister Hawkins. Sister Hawkins. For real, for real. So look, as we get into this thing we call the Freemasons and the Order of the Eastern Star, let me say something about my sisters of the Order of the Eastern Star. As you begin to travel the labyrinth of life, as you begin to grow as an Eastern Star and learning those 5 points and what they represent and who they represent and how you as an Eastern Star should carry yourself. And at the base of that star, you see the pomegranates, you understand the lion, and you understand the lamb that is laying at the base of that point, and you understand what they represent. You're going to see things a little bit differently than the average person. See, most Masons believe that Eastern Stars don't exist unless the Mason exists. I'm beginning to have a different shift on that. I'm beginning to see that from a different point of view. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Without the woman, there is no man. Boom. I'm just going to leave that there for another day, another conversation. We're going to get back on topic tonight. We're talking about my life you can have. We're talking about integrity. Because in your apprentice degree, as you begin to travel up those winding stairs, as I said before, it gets, let me tell you, if you go back and watch Princess Diana wedding, you will see as she begins to go into the church, there's something different about the church she got married in. I need for you to go back and watch that wedding. As she entered the porch of the church, there was 3 steps she walked up. As she entered the porch, there was 2 pillars that she walked under. Once she entered the church door, it was slammed. Then as she continued to progress down the aisle, it opened up, the fellowcraft degree. Then once she walked down, it kind of got slammed again. But the thing is, there was a rope and there was cherubims behind her. I mean, in front of her, behind the priest, there was a cherubim. Okay? That told me and that showed me there was something different about the place she got married in. And this is why we must pay attention to what's going on around us too. Okay? So as we venture into this thing we call the Masons and the Eastern Stars, we must pay close attention to what's around us. We must be cautious. We must carry ourselves in a manner that is respectable to the office for which you may hold. See, as a past Grand Master, I think I told this story once that when I became a Grand Master, I could no longer just walk around like, hey, whatever. I couldn't do that. I had to shift gears. I had a sister tell me, no, Brother Hawkins, you can't just be out here tossing them back like you used to. You're a Grand Master now. You gotta set that aside and go up to your room and have a little bit with the other Grand Lodge officers of your cabinet. You just can't be out here just doing it. So as you get these seats in these varied degrees, as you get these seats in the Order of the Eastern Star, the way you carry yourself, you have to be the example. So this is why you must understand justice, fortitude. This is why you must understand what it is as you progress in Freemasonry. Because if you don't, then the example people are going to lose. Was there an ark over the pillars? You're talking about at the church that she got married at? Is that what you're talking about? His Excellency? Hate me. Oh my God, that's a good one. I no longer see it as being fake, but as reserved. Greetings, Brother Jackson. How you doing tonight? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate everything that. Okay, yeah. You know what? I'm not 100% sure if there was an ark over it or not. But what I am sure about is that she walked up 3 steps on a porch, a long foundation, and then there was 2 pillars, and then she walked into the church, a narrow corridor, and then as she walked onward into the church, it opens up, and then it narrows again. That is what I really remember in regards to her wedding. That is what set it off to me, that the place she got married in was not like an average church at all. Not at all. So as we who are Master Masons and Fellow Crafts and Into Apprentice, we who are Eastern Stars, we must understand that this thing that we are a part of is a little different than any other organization. That's why it is a privilege to be an Eastern Star. This is why you do an interview. This is why those who are on that interview committee, it is so important that you make sure that young lady, that young man who is seeking membership into your fraternal order is who they claim that they are. They must have integrity about themselves. You must judge them. You must show justice in your judgment. Most people say, well, I can't judge nobody. That's a lie. We do it all the time. You just got to remember the same judgment that you issue will be issued to you. And if you can stand that, great. Do it. I judge all the time. I just got to realize that the same judgment I give will be rendered back to me. Can I stand the fire? And if I can hang with it and tell myself, yeah, do it. I'm good. It's my decision. But a lot of us tend to forget that. It's your decision. It's what you want. I'm going to have to show that. Yeah, some do say that. What's up, CV Builder? What's going on? Greetings, Brother Hawkins. Hit it on the head. Without the black woman, there is no black man. The ancient craft and sciences always acknowledge the duality as well as recognizing the sacred femininity. Yes, indeed. See, I'm going to share this with you. There is a broken column within the Order of the Eastern Star. There's also a broken column within Freemasonry. Both represent the female. Both says that in Masonry, it represents Harriman Biff being cut down in life. But there's a female that hangs on that column, just as it is in the order of the Eastern Star. It represents a sister being cut down in her life, but there's a female who hangs on to that broken column. See, there's a lot of dualities within Freemasonry in the order of the Eastern Star. The process is that most of us don't go back and take a look at it because most brothers who are Masons don't become Eastern Stars. So therefore, if you don't understand those points that they have and the colors that they represent, because those colors that those sisters have are very, very significant to the man, to the body. It is. It represents the colors of chakras. I've said that before. Now you go back and see the red, let me see, red, white, yellow, green, and blue. And see and check them out for yourself. If you think I'm not telling you the truth, all you have to do is go read and verify for yourself. That's all you have to do. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. So look, let's see what we got. She comes first, and we'll all come out of the darkness. Absolutely. And see, that is the uniqueness. When you're talking about Freemasonry and Order of the Eastern Star, when you're talking about coming from darkness to light, those metaphors that we're using in regards to that, check this out just for a minute. Just for a minute. See, most of us believe that the year is 12 months. Most of us believe that a full year is 12 months. But that's not necessarily true. A year is actually 13 months based on the female cycle. Based on the full moon, it's 13 months. But because of what happened in the change that somebody put out there, said 12 months instead of 13 months. They gave you 365 days in a year instead of 300, and I think it's almost close to like 380, something like that. No, it's 12, 13. So it's almost like it's almost like 390 days in a complete year cycle. But what happens is, because those things change, and those things are what's been taught to us, we take them literally. Oh, okay, it is. It's 12 months in a year. It's 13 months in a year based on the female cycle. In the cycle of the moon, 13 months. This is why in some cultures, such as, correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say the Japanese or Chinese culture, when they celebrate the new year in January, we celebrate the new year in January, but there's a difference. Their last month is January. Our last month is December. And I want to say that's the Japanese, Chinese culture. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, that's their culture. That's when they practice it. That's when all the fireworks around me in late January, all the fireworks just be like popping off. One time, I thought something was really popping. I call it, hey, 911, what's going on? Oh, well, the Koreans, I'm trying to think, celebrating the new year. So even after January, you see Christmas lights around San Diego. You be like, damn, Christmas lights. Yeah. For real. So we have to go back and realize the privilege that it is to be a Mason, the privilege that it is to be an Eastern Star, and understanding the very dynamics for which this organization is based upon, and taking the VSL, which is supposed to be the ruler and guide of our faith, and crack that book open. See what it means. See what it says. If you took your OB on a Quran, crack it open and read it. If you took it on a Bible, crack it open and read it. If you took your OB on the Constitution of your lodge, pop it open and read it. Yeah, I said it. I had a brother in my lodge who took his obligation on the Constitution. There's nothing that I've read that said he couldn't do it. Is this volume of sacred law? Nothing said that he couldn't do it. So, as we proceed in Masonry, as we proceed in the Order of the Eastern Star, the only thing that is constant is change. The only thing that is constant is change. So we must be able to change as things begin to move forward. Because as I've said before, the stonemasons that worked in the guilds and the quarries, they didn't see this new masonry thing coming along. They didn't see it coming along. And then before you know it, this secret society or society of secrets began to take those things of stonemasons and incorporate it into the thing we call Freemasonry, because we're supposed to be free thinkers. But yet, I'm finding that most Masons are not free thinkers. Most Masons are followers. Somebody need to talk back to me. Most Masons are followers. They're not free thinkers. They don't think for themselves. Other brothers think for them. And then when you find a true free thinker, a Mason is truly a free thinker of his own thoughts and principles and integrity, people look at him like he done lost his mind. Not understanding that the very concept, the very thing about Freemasonry is to get you to think freely. Is it of your own free will and accord? Are you duly and truly prepared, worthy? Those things mean something. You just don't walk into the organization. When that sister winds the labyrinth of life within those 5 points, and she's given instructions by each point and what they mean, and given a pass on each point, when she's done, she has 5 degrees. When the brother is done, he has only 3. And you can't even talk to your sister because you can't even have a conversation with her. Most sisters would run circles around a Mason if she's well studied. She will run circles around him, because what she's going to find out, what most sisters are going to find out in the Order of the Eastern Star, that every password within the 3 degrees of a Mason is in the degree work of an Eastern Star. That's a fact. You have to just know what you're looking for, sisters. You have to know the correlation between Ruth and Boaz, sisters. You have to understand Judges and why the sister was had to lay on the altar because her father, out of Judges, had to sacrifice her because he promised God that, after the war, that he would sacrifice the first thing he seen as he was coming up, and it was his daughter that was coming out the house. You have to understand that within I think his name is Jethan, when he went off to war, and you got to look, he was the guardian. The brothers in that war, brothers, as they tried to pass, they couldn't pass because they didn't have the proper password. And when they spoke, they misspoke the password. That's why it was off with their heads. See the correlation? I'm just saying, if you're a fellowcraft, you know what was the word and how it was mispronounced. Sisters, that was Jonathan. Jethan's the 9th judge. That was his battle. Oh, but you don't hear me though. See, then you got to find out the correlation, brothers, with who got married to who and how you come up with your password and the Master Mason degree, because it's over in the Order of the Eastern Star degree work. It is. It is. And the only reason you don't know, because you're not an Eastern Star, you don't practice their works. The only reason the sisters don't know is because they don't practice. Well, I can't say that. Some sisters do practice Freemasonry. But here in the United States, most African American sisters don't practice Freemasonry, so they don't know the correlation. Now there are some sisters. There are some sisters who are Prince Hall sisters. They work up on a Grand Lodge of Prince Hall with their grand chapter. They are female Masons, and I know who they are because I've had a conversation with a sister. I wanted to have her on the show, but she wouldn't come on the show. But she's a Mason, and she's a Prince Hall sister, and I don't need to lie on her. She's probably in the chat tonight, and I respect that of her, because I understand that in the degree work for which she's taken as a Mason, That, I mean, hey, it is what it is. And that's just a fact. I'm receiving this one tonight for sure. I need this, brother. Oh man, but it is just too easy for us to give up our integrity. It seems like all of us have a price. Some of us will slap our mamas and then say, "Mom, I'm sorry, but for $1 million, I just had to go ahead and just slap you." We'll sell out our family. I'm just saying the integrity that we should have in ourselves, in regards to the craft, in regards to the sisterhood, we should take it more seriously. We should show respect to the next brother, to the next sister. We should lead, not follow. All of the great ones have come through the doors of Freemasonry, the school of knowledge, the mystery schools. And the only reason they call it a mystery school because it's a mystery to those who haven't been to that school. If you've been to that school of knowledge, it wouldn't be a mystery to you. And this is what they do to those who don't pick up a book and read it. They put it in there, and then you don't read it. So when somebody try to share some extra stuff with you, you don't want to hear about it. Man, I don't want to hear about that. Ah, man, you talking that noise. I don't want to hear about it. But you hadn't picked up a book. You hadn't done anything to find out if what that person is telling you is true. That is what you need to do. If you want to find out something is whether you agree with it or not, go study and find for yourself. Seek that which is lost for yourself. And when you find it, it's going to be like a, wow, eureka, I've discovered it. But until you do that, you're going to be exactly where you're at. Be exactly where you're at. You're not going to move one way or the other. One way or the other. Hey, Corey, where you been, man? Hey, it's glad to see you. Glad to see you back. Hope everything is well. I'm just trying to catch up. Embrace your shadow. Absolutely. So look, I'm not going to hold you long tonight. I certainly appreciate that you tuned in. I thank you, and I hope that you've gotten something out of this. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to be doing a Zoom, but it's only a Zoom for Masons and Eastern Stars only. And there's some things I want to share with you that I've come across, that I've learned, and I want to share it with you. I can't share it in public. So I'm going to be putting up a Zoom here pretty soon. And if you want to tune in to the Zoom, if you want to come on, you're certainly welcome to do so. So I'm looking at doing that within the near future. More information is going to be coming. If you are a Mason or an Eastern Star, you need to be on this particular Zoom. Because what I'm going to do is let the cat out the bag. And when I say that, I'm just going to give it all. We're going to be talking about passwords, what they really means, and we're going to talk about the floor work of an Eastern Star, how one wind the labyrinth. We're going to be talking about that. And for those brothers who have not been initiated into, or may not be a patron in a chapter, this is going to be good for you to know. And sisters, for those of you who know nothing about Freemasonry, this is going to be good for you to know. Oh my God. Yeah, we're going to have a ball. And we're going to do a Zoom. So if you want to partake in the Zoom, I'm going to definitely have to email this to you. Your invite will be emailed to you, and you will see it on the community page here. We're going to put that information up, and just come on the Zoom. And it's going to be, I don't have a name for it right now, but definitely want you to come on to Zoom so you can get this information, so you can have it at your disposal. So with that being said, as I conclude tonight, let's see. Dang, I'm going to miss that lesson due to here in Ohio. It's all on pause. Oh, yet practice. Patience leads me. Okay. I hope. No. If you're in Iowa, you're not going to miss this. Ohio, how you going to miss the Zoom? You're not going to miss the Zoom. It's going to be at a real decent time. If you're back east, it's going to be at a real decent time to where you're able to catch it. And we're going to talk about some other things within the Freemason and the Order of the Eastern Star, to where you would see the very thing I'm talking about tonight. I would lay it all out to you. I would tell you in regards to the passwords and how they relate to the Eastern Star and her degree work, and the Master Mason and his degree work. So you who are Masons can understand the Eastern Star works, and for those who are Eastern Star, you can understand the Masonic work. There ain't no secrets. You just don't know, because nobody has broke it down to you or pointed it out to you. So if you have your Masonic ritual, be it a Lester Look to the East or a Duncan, I'm going to show it to you out of your ritual work. I'm going to show it to you. If you're an Eastern Star and you have your OES book, some are blue, Bell, and then there's a white one. If you have your Eastern, I'm going to show it to you in your OES book. I'm going to show you the correlation with the Eastern Star and the Master Mason. We're going to do it on Zoom. And the only way you'll be able to get in is if I email you the invite. Come on in. Let's have this conversation. So then when you come across a brother, sister, you can have a conversation with him, because some sisters like to talk to a brother like they're a Mason. I'm talking about an Eastern Star who hasn't been, are you on the square? What's up, square? Sisters, that's not how you talk to a brother. That's very disrespectful, because you work on a point. You don't work on a square. You have no working tools, sisters. Brothers, when you approach a sister, hey, sister, what's up? No, that's not how you talk to a sister. She shouldn't even speak to you, as a matter of fact, because she hadn't found that you was worthy or well qualified to even have a conversation with. Just because you called her sister, that don't mean nothing to her. It shouldn't. You should be talking to her in such a way that she understands the language that you're talking to her in. When you see a sister, brother, you should greet her in such a way that she knows who you are. When Queen Sheba and King Solomon met, the relationship that they had was, see, we're going to have that conversation. We're going to have that conversation. It is open to Master Masons only. No. This conversation is going to be open to all Masons, into apprentice, fellowcraft, OES. It's just open to the people, to the brotherhood and sisterhood. That's it. And it's going to be through invitation only. And I'm going to put it in the community page. So if you go to the community page, when it's up, you can email me your email account. And so when I get ready to do it, I will send you the invite and tell you the date and the time. It's going to be at a reasonable time for the East Coast especially. And I want to do it on a weekend. It will be a weekend day. Your queen be it. Oh, yeah. So until we meet each other, until we see each other, God bless you. Please be safe. Remember to wear a mask. Protect those around you. Even if you don't care about yourself, just protect the next person. Because, too many are dying because people are not protecting and wearing masks and gelling in or out. Just wear a mask. It's really okay. You don't have to wear it all day, but just wear it when you're out, and think about the next person. Just think about them for a moment and understand that we are part of an organization that truly understands justice, fortitude, prudence, and what it is we're supposed to be doing and how civil we're supposed to be. Catch that on the way home. So until next time, be well, and I'll holler at you later. I'm out.